There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week.
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
Is it all finally catching up with them? That's the question on everyone's mind as three of the most powerful figures in the music industry, Diddy, Jay-Z, and R. Kelly, find themselves tangled in a web of legal battles and scandals that could bring down their empires. These icons of hip-hop and R&B, who once ruled the charts and the headlines for their music, are now making waves for all the wrong reasons. And as the pressure mounts, the question isn't whether they'll fall, but how hard.
Deserves what they experienced at his hands, or the threats and harassment they faced in telling the truth about what happened to them. We hope that today's verdict brings some measure of comfort and closure to the victims.
R. Kelly, the disgraced R&B star, has already been behind bars for years, but he's far from staying silent. Now, rumors are swirling that he's preparing to speak out from prison, possibly implicating some of his former collaborators in ways that could shake the music world to its core. And he's not just name-dropping anyone. The names in his sights are Diddy and Jay-Z, both of whom he's had turbulent histories with. R. Kelly, who once boasted an empire built on smooth vocals and chart-topping hits, now sits in a prison cell, reportedly planning his next move, exposing those who, he claims, played a role in his downfall.
Yeah, today it was the chance of R. Kelly's victims, many who have been, talking about this for years. I mean, this is allegations that have gone on for 3 decades, essentially, since he was a rising force and one of the most successful R&B stars of his time. But today,
this new twist in R. Kelly's saga started when he filed a Supreme Court appeal, arguing that his conviction is based on outdated legal standards. According to sources close to Kelly, he's hoping to reduce his sentence by pointing the finger at others, and those others just happen to be two of the biggest names in the business. Imagine the bombshells that could drop if Kelly decides to start naming names. Could Diddy and Jay-Z find themselves dragged into a fresh legal mess? Kelly's past is already well documented, but what's been brewing behind closed doors has the potential to be far more scandalous. His camp has hinted that he's sitting on a treasure trove of information that could implicate Diddy and Jay-Z in ways we've never imagined. And the timing couldn't be worse for Diddy, who's been facing legal heat himself. Just as Kelly readies to spill, Diddy is dealing with the fallout from his own scandals, and it's not looking pretty.
That means is the money that they're saying Diddy has to start paying this guy on October 1st, right. Diddy's team is like, hold on, we need an emergency conversation about why this should not have been granted. Mm-hmm. And they awarded him a TRO, which basically meant that Diddy's team was not allowed to sell any property in that state or anything related to what could be used to pay the plaintiff.
In recent months, Diddy has been making headlines not for his music, but for his increasingly complicated legal troubles. Most notably, he was recently arrested, and what authorities discovered during the investigation has only added fuel to the fire. There are whispers of incriminating evidence found at his properties, which, if proven true, could lead to serious consequences for the Bad Boy Records mogul. Some insiders are even speculating that Diddy's legal team is desperately working behind the scenes to strike deals that could keep further charges at bay. But as more information comes to light, the walls seem to be closing in.
The government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being. They have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
And it's not just a matter of what was found, but what it all means for Diddy's reputation. For years, Diddy has managed to stay on top, building a brand that extends far beyond music. He's a businessman, a mogul, and a cultural icon. But now, with mounting legal challenges and the possibility that his former collaborator, R. Kelly, could be ready to throw him under the bus, Diddy's future looks more uncertain than ever. Some sources even suggest that the evidence found in Diddy's case could be connected to years of questionable behavior, and that could open up a whole new legal nightmare.
Evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those 2 raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
While Diddy scrambles to handle his own issues, Kelly's plan to reduce his sentence seems to hinge on implicating others. The details remain murky, but Kelly's team has made it clear that they're not afraid to use whatever leverage they have. If Kelly starts talking, Diddy could find himself battling not just the current charges, but a whole new wave of accusations tied to his long-standing connection with the R&B star. And let's not forget that Diddy and Kelly were once collaborators on several projects, an association that, in hindsight, might not be as innocent as it once seemed.
Diddy is now being sued in addition to what we just talked about by Dawn Richards. You guys will remember her. She was a part of Making the Band.
Dirty Money.
Dirty Money, the Danity Kane era. So basically what she is alleging, she's alleging a lot of different things.
Diddy's recent legal troubles come at a time when he's also facing pressure from within the industry. Some say he's been losing his grip on his once dominant position. And with the younger generation of artists rising to fame, Diddy has been more focused on protecting his legacy than expanding it. But with R. Kelly potentially ready to drag him into a fresh legal quagmire, that legacy might be harder to preserve than ever. The legal drama doesn't stop with Diddy, though. Jay-Z, another heavyweight in the music industry, is also struggling to distance himself from these unfolding scandals. While Jay-Z has managed to stay relatively clear of the same level of legal trouble, his past connections to both Diddy and R. Kelly make it hard for him to escape the spotlight completely. And as Kelly begins to speak out, Jay-Z's name is once again being thrown into the mix.
Have you done anything that you regret? Have you done anything wrong?
Lots of things wrong when it comes to women that I apologize. But I apologize in those relationships. At the time I was in the relationships.
Have you broken any laws when it comes to women?
Jay-Z's history with R. Kelly is well known, especially given their two ill-fated collaborations on the albums The Best of Both Worlds and Unfinished Business. Their working relationship famously fell apart, culminating in the disastrous 2004 tour where R. Kelly accused Jay-Z's crew of trying to harm him, an incident that led to pepper spray and lawsuits. Since then, Jay-Z has made a point of distancing himself from Kelly, but it seems the past is catching up with him. Now, as R. Kelly prepares to potentially name names, Jay-Z's past with both Kelly and Diddy could once again put him in the crosshairs. While there's no indication that Jay-Z is directly involved in the current legal battles surrounding R. Kelly or Diddy, his history with both men is enough to keep him tied to these scandals in the eyes of the public. And that's a dangerous position to be in, especially when reputations are on the line.
Now, so what is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could, get moved earlier than that?
As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this thing next to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released to his mansion.
It's worth noting that Jay-Z has also faced his own controversies over the years, from allegations of shady business dealings to rumors about his personal life. But up until now, he's managed to sidestep the kind of legal troubles that have ensnared R. Kelly and, more recently, Diddy. However, the music industry is notorious for its interconnected web of relationships, and with R. Kelly allegedly ready to start naming names, Jay-Z's connections to both men could pull him into the drama in ways he never anticipated.
If you really look at that documentary, which I'm sure you have,
I have.
Everybody said something bad about me. Nobody said nothing good. They was describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man. I make mistakes. But I'm not a devil, and by no means am I a monster.
Kelly's appeal to the Supreme Court marks a significant turning point. If his legal team can prove that his conviction was based on outdated laws, it could open the door for a reduced sentence, or at the very least, a more lenient legal outcome. But Kelly's strategy seems to go beyond simply clearing his name. If rumors are to be believed, Kelly is ready to expose the people who, in his view, contributed to his legal downfall. And Diddy and Jay-Z are reportedly at the top of that list. As Kelly prepares to make his move, Diddy is left scrambling to clean up his own mess. His legal team is working overtime to negotiate deals and keep the worst of the allegations from sticking. But with R. Kelly potentially ready to speak out, Diddy's situation becomes even more precarious. The last thing he needs is another scandal, especially one that could link him to the very man whose legal troubles are making headlines around the world.
This is a significant outcome for all victims of R. Kelly, and especially for the survivors who so bravely testified about the horrific and sadistic abuse they endured. R. Kelly is a predator, and as a result of our prosecution, he'll serve a long jail sentence for his crimes.
And let's not forget that the music industry thrives on rumors and speculation. For every confirmed detail, there are countless whispers of what might happen next. Insiders are already speculating that if R. Kelly starts naming names, it won't just be Diddy and Jay-Z who feel the heat. Other industry figures could also find themselves implicated. The question now is whether R. Kelly's claims will hold any weight, or if he's simply trying to take others down with him in a desperate bid to reduce his own sentence.
Some people think that you like underage girls. What do you say to that?
Well, those people that don't know Robert, they don't know me, so I usually don't get into what people think about me, because all my career You know, even before the trial, people have had their opinions about Robert, you know, and that's probably because it has a lot to do with me.
Either way, the stakes couldn't be higher for Diddy and Jay-Z. While both men have built legacies that extend far beyond their musical careers, their connection to R. Kelly could be their undoing. And as Kelly gears up to speak from behind bars, the question on everyone's mind is, how much does he really know and how far is he willing to go to save himself? This is where things get really interesting. With Diddy fighting to keep his empire from crumbling and Jay-Z trying to distance himself from the fallout, it's clear that the next few months could bring even more explosive revelations. Will R. Kelly's plan to name names succeed, or will his attempts to implicate Diddy and Jay-Z fall flat? One thing's for sure, the drama is far from over. And just like that, we're left on the edge of our seats, waiting to see who will crack under the pressure first. Will Diddy's legal troubles finally catch up to him, or will he manage to strike a deal that keeps him out of the courtroom? And what about Jay-Z? Will he be able to stay above the fray, or will R. Kelly's accusations drag him down too? The answers remain elusive, but one thing is certain. This is a story that's far from over. As R. Kelly prepares to speak out, the music world is holding its breath, waiting to see what he'll reveal, and who will be left standing when the dust finally settles. So, where does that leave Jay-Z in all this? He's been pretty good at keeping himself out of the direct line of fire when it comes to scandals. But with his past ties to both Diddy and R. Kelly, it's not as simple as just walking away. You can bet Jay-Z is trying to keep his distance now. But let's be real, he's got some serious history with both of these guys, and that's not something you can easily shake off, especially when R. Kelly is apparently gearing up to name names. You have to wonder, how long can Jay-Z keep himself separate from the fallout?
Like days before the event, he was getting threats that he felt like was coming from Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z was trying to basically...
Let's rewind a bit. Jay-Z and R. Kelly had a working relationship that went completely off the rails. Back in the early 2000s, they teamed up for what was supposed to be a dream collaboration. Two massive stars combining their talents for not one, but two albums for not one, but two albums-y, the best of both worlds. In 2002 and unfinished business in 2004, on paper, it was the perfect partnership, but behind the scenes, it was chaos. Things first went south during their tour for the best of both worlds, where tensions exploded publicly at Madison Square Garden. Remember that infamous pepper spray incident? It's a moment that's still talked about to this day. R. Kelly stormed off the stage claiming he saw guns in the crowd, and when he tried to return, Jay-Z's close friend Tyron "Ty-T" Smith pepper sprayed him. That incident led to lawsuits and marked the end of their partnership, with both men pointing fingers at each other. But here's where things get murky. Sure, Jay-Z distanced himself from R. Kelly after that mess, but they had already collaborated for years by that point. And now, with R. Kelly sitting behind bars, reportedly ready to throw his former allies under the bus, Jay-Z's name is getting dragged back into the mix. Sources close to the situation suggest that Kelly holds grudges about how everything went down, especially after Jay-Z seemed to come out of their partnership unscathed, while Kelly's career spiraled.
He talked about that, and then he just said how much conflict they was experiencing with each other. Like,
some insiders even hint that R. Kelly believes Jay-Z played a role in his downfall. Could it be that Jay-Z, seeing the writing on the wall, made moves to protect his own empire, possibly even cooperating with authorities or feeding the media stories about Kelly's misdeeds? It's hard to say for sure, but with Kelly's legal team allegedly prepared to expose everything, Jay-Z might not be as untouchable as he seems. Adding to the speculation is the fact that Jay-Z's team has been eerily silent about the whole R. Kelly situation for years. Some say that's because he wants nothing to do with it, while others believe it's a calculated move to avoid any association with Kelly's downfall. But as R. Kelly gets ready to speak out from prison, it's possible that this long silence could backfire.
R. Kelly was saying that Jay-Z funded his downfall plus the documentary.
If Kelly does indeed implicate Jay-Z in some way, whether by suggesting he knew more than he let on, or even accusing him of contributing to his legal troubles, Jay-Z's strategy of staying out of the fray could collapse. It's also worth noting that Jay-Z's business dealings with Diddy only make things more complicated. The two have been collaborators and competitors for decades, both building their empires through music, fashion, and business ventures. But while they've often been seen as friendly rivals, the truth is their relationship has been fraught with its own set of tensions. In the wake of Diddy's recent legal troubles, there's been a lot of chatter about whether Jay-Z will publicly stand by his longtime friend or whether he'll quietly step away to avoid being tainted by association. Either way, their history is too deeply intertwined to ignore. Over the years, Jay-Z has crafted an image of a businessman first and a musician second. His Roc Nation empire stretches into every corner of the entertainment industry, from sports management to streaming services. But while Jay-Z has positioned himself as a savvy, untouchable mogul, his past partnerships could be the one thing that drags him down. Let's not forget that during their Rockefeller days, Jay-Z and Diddy shared similar circles.
after they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
And with Diddy now facing serious legal heat, there's no telling how much of that could splash back onto Jay-Z. After all, when someone as high profile as Diddy starts to fall, he's going to take others down with him if he can. That's not just speculation either. Some sources suggest that Diddy is doing everything in his power to negotiate his way out of the legal storm he's facing, and that could mean leveraging his connections with other industry giants, Jay-Z included.
See, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't sold their soul.
Could Diddy be willing to throw his old friend under the bus to save himself? It sounds extreme, but in the high-stakes world of celebrity legal battles, anything is possible. The rumor mill is already buzzing with whispers that Diddy has information that could implicate Jay-Z in some unsavory dealings. Whether or not there's any truth to these rumors, one thing is clear. The longer Diddy's legal troubles continue, the more pressure there will be on Jay-Z to distance himself, and fast.
That's how hateful you guys are. How you step on anybody to stay on the top.
But can Jay-Z truly distance himself from a man he's been linked to for decades? It's a tough call. On one hand, Jay-Z has built an empire that's largely independent of Diddy's influence. He doesn't need Diddy to maintain his status or wealth. On the other hand, walking away from a longtime ally in their moment of need could send a message that Jay-Z is more concerned with self-preservation than loyalty. And in the world of hip-hop, loyalty still means everything. But as the saying goes, business is business, and Jay-Z has always been known for putting business first.
They allegedly has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
So what happens if R. Kelly starts naming names? Well, that's when things could get really messy. If Kelly drags Jay-Z into the legal spotlight, even indirectly, it could force Jay-Z to address the allegations head on. And let's be honest, Jay-Z has never been one to shy away from confrontation when pushed.
It may sound outrageous, but he felt like Jay-Z wanted to get him for whatever reason.
Just think back to his public feuds with the likes of Nas and Cameron. Jay-Z knows how to fight back, but this situation is different. This isn't just about music beef or rivalries. This is about legal battles that could have real-world consequences for his empire.
I know so much on how you got where you are.
As for Diddy, his current situation seems to be going from bad to worse. The recent discovery of potentially incriminating evidence during an investigation into his activities has left many wondering how much longer he can hold on to his position of power. There are even whispers that some of his closest allies in the industry are starting to distance themselves, quietly cutting ties before the situation gets any worse. If Diddy does end up facing even more serious charges, it could have ripple effects throughout the entire industry, and Jay-Z might find himself caught in the fallout whether he likes it or not.
After that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past, okay?
So what's next? Will Jay-Z be able to keep his name clean, or is it only a matter of time before his connections to both Diddy and R. Kelly come back to haunt him? And how long can Diddy continue to dodge the legal bullets coming his way before something finally sticks? One thing's for sure, with R. Kelly ready to start talking, the music industry's biggest names could be in for a rude awakening. The real question now is, who will fall first? Let us know in the comments below what you think will happen next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.